Welcome back to my channel. I'm Debbie, the Disney Nonna, and today is another collab on this Pin Me Up Wednesday, and it is with Arias Disney Fun, and there's a whole bunch of us listed below, so check everybody out for this collab. But this collab is organizing and displaying your pins. And it's going to be a great collab because I'm going to be checking everybody's out to see if there are any new ideas that maybe I can incorporate into my own system that might help me organize or new ways to display my pins. So let's go ahead and get started on how I organize some of my traders. And I've done that before in a video, and then we're gonna go into mostly displaying of my pins, talking about how I displayed my pins recently. So let's talk about organizing my pins. And I've talked about these before. I use Case-It binders. You can find these on Amazon, and I will look it up and put the link below. These are found on Amazon. They're Case-It binders. They're quite thick, okay? And I put both traders and regular pins that I'm going to keep inside of here. And I actually use these with the GoPinPro sleeves, or not sleeves. The GoPinFolios. Let's see if I'll pick it up and show you. These right here. And I found that 6 of these actually fit inside here, and they work very nicely. So you can see I have, these are traders, and you can see they go on the back as well. And these are traders that I have inside here. And I keep my traders that are larger or that have no backings inside like this on a PinFolio that has the holes punched in it. I'll actually link these below as well from GoPinPro. These are very, very useful. These are very useful. So here they are. Like I said, 6 of these actually fit in a Case-It binder. The Case-It binder has pockets as well on the side. It kind of folds out. I keep extra PinFolios in here. I keep some extra stuff inside here. Extra cards in here if I need them. There's a little zipper pocket that I keep some of my backings in here. But fits this whole thing, and it zips up nicely. Now the other binder that I brought over, also is a Case-It binder. And let me open that one up, because that one has kind of like the idea of baseball cards, but it's not the baseball card sleeves, it's the sleeves that have the tops to it. So I'll pull them out so you can see it. But these are ones that have backers on them. So these sleeves have backers on them, and that way I can keep, and you can see up here, it has a backer. These have backers, and this has a flap to keep these inside there, so they don't actually slide out. So, and I keep those pins that have backer cards inside here, and that fits quite a bit. Definitely plenty. It's far more than I have. And I go ahead and leave those inside here. If I have backer cards, these are my traders in here. I go ahead and put them inside here. And those are perfect for me to be able to flip through and have the backer cards already ready, available for them. Some of the other ones, obviously, they don't have the backer cards. Either they've been traded before, either they're maybe before I had been saving backer cards, things like that. So now I also use these binders for collections that do not have boards to go on. So if I have a collection that I may be keeping a collection, maybe I thought, no, I'm not keeping this collection, but I am really actually keeping a collection. I have some GoPinPros, and these come in different colors. So I have a green binder. You'll see that in a clip coming up. It was set up for some of my villains, and I was keeping my villains in that binder, but we're gonna go ahead and put those on a board later in this video. So that's gonna be exciting because I have a new villains board that we're gonna set up. I had a purple binder that had my main 4 of my villains, and that was a binder as well. So you can use the binders to really set up if you don't have a place to display on your walls. They're really good, great binders. They retail for about $21. Sometimes I can get them for $16 when they have a limited deal. So check it out and definitely look for the deals. Now, I have another case here, and this is just kind of like a makeup case. It had sections inside of it. I removed the sections inside of it. And it's just this. And inside here are my bigger pins. These are my bigger pins. And I just store my bigger pins inside here so that when I'm ready to trade, I'll be able to pull them out. They're inside a little case. They're easy to pull out, easy to see. So that's kind of how I store my traders. It is also how I store some of my keeping pins that I don't have a place on a board for, but how do I display some of the ones, or before I'm going to put them on a board? Well, before I put them on a board, they were all over the place. I had them in bags and all kinds of all over the place. So I decided to come up with a system, and I decided to come up with a system with bins. So I have clear bins, and I have several clear bins, and they are on a shelf. And in those clear bins, I have them separated. So I have traders. When I come across my traders, I put them in that bin. And then when I'm ready to file those into those binders, I pull that bin and then I file those into the binders. When I'm ready to file, these are Haunted Mansion and Nightmare Before Christmas, because that's a very large collection that I have. So as you can see, I have quite a few in here that need to be filed and go into those areas. I will go into my library. I will pull those canvases or those boards that I have, and I will look to see what I'm going to put up on those boards, and I will add these to them. So I have, like here, I have a new Haunted Mansion pin. I will look to see. I will also look to see if I already have this pin. I have found that I'm coming across duplicates that I am buying at some point in time. I'm not always checking, coming across duplicates, and in that case, I go ahead and I put it in the trader bin, go ahead and, so it's ready to go ahead and trade, put it in my trader pile. So I use these bins and I set them up. I also use one of these bins for my to be opened. So I have a large amount of blind boxes. I'm very much behind on that. I have a whole section of blind boxes. In fact, it's totally full. So I need to be opening those up as well because it's full. So when it's full, I should know that, man, I need to get on that. So that's kind of where the staging area is for my pins. So when these start piling up, I know I need to grab one of these bins and start doing something with it. So I've been using these clear bins. Now I did come across some new bins, but they are a little bit smaller, but they have lids to them so they can be stackable. And I'm considering those for the future, but these have been working nicely. The only problem is I don't have a way to stack on top of them. So just remember that if you're looking for some bins, you might want some that you can stack on top of them. Maybe shoebox bins, something like that. Okay, so how do I display my pins? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of move around my house a little bit, but let's look at some right now of how I've displayed some. I've got 3 that are right here. So let's look at the first one. The first one is canvases. So here is a canvas that I created, and you can see it has villains. And I spent some time creating many canvases when I first started out with deciding that, okay, I have a pin collection and I had been collecting and they had been in binders, but I wanted to display my pins. And so I started to create canvases to display my pins when I really got into this community. And I really like them a lot. I love creating the canvases. I loved being able to get into my artwork, really getting into doing something different. I've created some 3D canvases for like my Chip and Dale with the popcorn. I've created just a variety of canvases. I've done a Star Wars canvas. I've done Winnie the Pooh canvas. I've done a Pirates of the Caribbean canvas. So I've done quite a few canvases that I really enjoy, and they are out and about around the house. So I really enjoy the canvases. The problem with a canvas, they are really good. This is what the back of the canvas looks like. They are really, really good, but you cannot move these pins around. So once you put the pins on there, do not expect that you're going to want to move them around, because once you leave the holes in there, it does not look super good afterwards. You cannot pull these out and move them around. So once the display is set up, the display is set up. So as you can see, I still have open spots. I will fill those in with some additional pins that I will add on here, but then that's it. I won't be taking any of the pins off, and I won't be adding any more afterwards once I fill that up. So that is one way that I have displayed pins. Now another way, obviously, is the traditional way that you can add your pins on, and that is the cork board. Everybody has that traditional cork board. So here's my dragon board. It's a traditional cork board. The nice thing about a traditional cork board is that you can pull these pins off and reorganize them, excuse me, any way you want. And at the end of this, once I've decided I've filled up this board to where I want it, I may choose to actually create or put a dragon painting on the actual cork board itself in acrylic paint. So that is a possibility, to paint something on here and then add the pins back on around that painting. And that's something that you could do also. Now, if you do not like painting yourself, you could come up, buy a painting yourself. Just buy it. There's canvases out there for sale that are Disney canvases, and then you could put the pins on yourself. So that's an option. Now, I saw someone out in our community do this, and I thought I was going to try this, and I bought several of these, and it just did not take off for me. I wanted to like this and thought I would use this, and then it just did not take off for me, but it was these flags. So these banners, I bought these banners, and they're great. They really are. It's an awesome idea for storing. And this is a hanger. And I have a shower curtain rod across a shelf. It's a large shelf on the bottom of my shelving system. So the curtain rod goes across, and this actually just hangs on top of there. So these could sit up there. I could pull it out and then maybe hang it someplace so that I could have them on display. It just didn't speak to me to hang them someplace. So although I have them and they are there and I can pull them out to look at them, I don't put them on display. So these are not something I actually put out to display. Probably these are going to come off and they're going to go on the villains board, the big board that you're going to see later in this video. Okay, and hold on one second. I'm going to show you one more interesting way to display your pins. A Christmas tree. Now, this went viral, and it was actually the green Christmas tree from Home Goods, and I did procure one of those, so I do have one, but it has nothing on it at this point in time. But this one I actually got from Poshmark, and I was able to get it before the season was done, and you can see I put the pins all around this Christmas tree, and it was pretty cool. Now, hint for this, and I saw this out there, which really helped me. When I put the pins on here with the rubber backings, I did have a problem where they were wanting to come off. So some of them stayed on nicely, but some of them were thick and they wanted to come off. So I used the locking backers. I just bought a bag of them on Amazon, and I used the locking backers, and that helped a lot with these pins. So this is going away for my Christmas season now, and I will start on the new Christmas tree for next year. So I have quite a few pins that I need to start collecting for Christmas to handle that Christmas tree, because it's much bigger than this one. So, but this turned out to be very, very cute and an interesting way to display pins. So it just shows you there's a lot of different ways that you can display pins and come up with some really creative ideas. And I hope that we're gonna see some of those ideas with the people that are showing us our pins down below. Let's go ahead and go over to the newest, is the biggest board that I have. And we're going to look at the villains board. It's started already, and we're gonna add some pins to that. And then we'll move on to looking at some pins in the library after that. And we'll come back to the table before we're done and close out. Okay, we're on our way to the big board, but I thought I would stop in my room and show you a few other ways to display your pins. Here's a shadow box of goofy pins sitting on a shelf. So it's not even hanging up, just sitting on a shelf. Here's a canvas just sitting on a shelf. And here we have what is one of those books that you find that's empty, and inside of it I just put a piece of foam, and then inside we have pins. So added just a few little things. And then down here, see if you can see it, this piece is just one of the cheap foam pieces, and it's just propped up on a shelf. So you can have them tucked in anywhere. Let's go on and look at the other board. Here's a full-size shot of the villains board, so you can see how big the board is compared, and it's in my hallway. I'll get you look at it from the front. I have a big V in the center that actually came from Flight of Fancy pins to kind of do my villains board. And then I'll show you a little up close. I have Ursula, Evil Queen, Yzma, Maleficent, and Cruella. And then excuse the construction stuff down here because we're going to be working, but I have a binder here, and this binder has more villains, and all of these villains are going on that board. So I'm going to put them on that board, and then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. And here's the whole board completed. I'll go in closer just so you can see. There's plenty of room to expand on my villains board. So I had them stored in the binders, which again, these are the K-Sit binders. And you can see these are the GoPinPro PinFolios. And you can fit 6 of these inside a case-it binder. I had a duplicate of this. This will actually go in my traders. Anybody needs this for trade, contact me on Instagram. And you can fit 6 of these comfortably inside one of these case-it binders. So let's go and back to the table and see what else we've got. Okay, I'm in the library now. Here we have another canvas that was painted. And it shows Haunted Mansion, room to grow on this one. Then when we come up, you can see here, this is actually a stocking. So, and if you come across the library, you can see another kind of board that's on display. So, and then of course you can just put your fig pins up just on display by themselves. So there's all kinds of ways that you can display your pins. Here's another set of pin boards at the coffee bar. So we have a canvas again. Here's a canvas. It has a 3D feature. And another canvas. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and seeing all the different ways that you could possibly display your pins, how you can organize your pins. There are all kinds of different ways that you can. Definitely go and check out all the videos down below. We're going to get some great ideas from some fabulous people. I know I'm going to be checking out these videos and learning some new things from them and probably incorporating some new things into my system. So definitely check them out. I want to thank everybody that's participating in this collab. I know they're wonderful, wonderful people. So hopefully you learned something today. Is there anything that you would like to suggest that I didn't share, or is there something that you might have picked up here that you might try yourself? Leave a comment below and let me know. That's all I've got for you today. I hope that you find magic in your day, and I will see you in the next video.